Hi, friends. How are you? Happy Wednesday. I'm so glad that you're here. I am interviewing Little Ray's Reptile Nature Discovery Center. They are in Hamilton and they have multiple locations. I'm really excited to chat with them because we're going to talk about reptiles, we're going to talk about animals, we're going to ask them some questions, and I'm really excited to tell you that our book, Grandma Gator's Fascinating Facts, is available at Little Ray's Reptile and Nature Discovery Center. So I can't wait to chat with them. They're just going to be on here in a couple of minutes, and I'm going to get my questions ready, and we will absolutely be able to answer some questions that are in the comments. So if you have any, we can definitely get your questions answered, hopefully. I'm just going to invite Little Rays to come on with me right now and see how they're doing. All right. There they are. Hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm so
Oh,
excited to chat with you.
yeah, we're excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, first of all, let me just say thank you so much for bringing in my book, Grandma Gator's Fascinating Facts, into your Barton Street location and, just carrying our book so that we can help spread the word about reptiles and their preservation and conservation of their habitats. So many thanks for that. So we're going to get started. I've got a lot of questions for you. What is the main goal of Little Ray's Reptile and Nature Discovery Center?
So Little Rays is actually Canada's largest exotic rescue. So we take in hundreds of animals every year to give them a second chance at life. A lot of times these animals have nowhere else to go. So I guess that's our main priority, is giving them a second home. But on a day-to-day, we love spreading our knowledge about animals, about conservation, smart pet ownership, all that kind of stuff. Because, the more knowledge we have, the better we can take care of these animals and maybe not get an animal that we don't know how to take care of or we're nervous about or something like that.
Yes, what a great answer. I've heard that there's a lot of problems with, people getting pets that they don't know how to take care of or they don't know a lot about, or exotic animal trade and things like that. So
Mhm.
how do most of the animals come into your care?
So most of them are actually previously owned pets. So
Oh,
sometimes they just live a long time and people don't want to, are unable to take care of it anymore. Maybe life changes. They just don't have the resources. Sometimes they're not allowed to be a pet, and authorities do take them and give them to us. But it can also be from other facilities that have closed down for one reason or another, or needs a home for an animal. It all just depends, but all around that topic.
okay. Wow. Well, you know what? That's really interesting. And when I was in the US, I actually heard that a lot of the exotic animals sometimes climb into the ballast of the ship if we have invasive species. And then when the ship at sea gets rid of that seawater, a new animal goes into a place where they haven't been before, and then we have a huge problem on our hands. So I imagine that this is an ongoing thing that people don't really know too much about. So that's why I'm so glad that you're here to talk about this and give us as much information as possible. So that being said, what can we do to help preserve and conserve these animals' habitats, and also to help these animals? How can we get involved?
For sure. So there's many ways you guys can help. If you're looking at local conservation, it's things like, not littering, leaving your grass a little bit longer, making sure that we do have the knowledge of what animals do live around us. Maybe, for birds and stuff, we want to get some nest boxes or some bird feeders up, things like that. For animals that are further away, it can be a lot more difficult for sure, because we can't just pop on over anytime we want. But there are if you do have the resources, you definitely can go volunteer at different places. And then you definitely, there's a lot of online programs for fundraising and things like that of organizations that do help as well. So
Yeah.
there's lots of things you guys can do for sure.
Awesome. And you guys have the Adopt an Animal program, don't you?
We do,
Can you
yes.
tell us about that a little bit? We want to adopt something from Pandemonium Publishing House. So,
Oh,
yeah,
amazing.
we really want to know about your Adopt an Animal program. Can you explain that a little bit to us?
Yeah, so our adopted animal program, there's quite a few different animals that you can kind of sponsor, and there's different levels of packages too. Of course, the bigger sponsorship you do, the more kind of things you get out of it. But what your sponsorship does is actually helps us, feed the animal, provide heat. The water, the house, all that kind of stuff. So it just helps us take care of those animals. And then there's some animals, I'm actually just walking over, of
Yeah,
course, and
Noah.
kind of finding. Here, I'm going to flip you guys around
Yeah.
here. So I don't know if you can see her, but
Yes.
this is Bindi. She's a saltwater crocodile,
Wow.
and she is one of our rescues. She actually came from a facility out west that closed down. There was about 200 animals that had no home. A lot of them were getting, faced with euthanasia. And we took about 50 odd animals in, most of them crocodilians, and we were actually able to relocate all of them except for her.
Wow.
She is on several wait lists, but she is on wait lists to go to Trinidad. They were looking at her over in Vancouver and stuff like that. So when you guys sponsor an animal, you guys also help us find their forever home, because as much as I love Bindi, don't get me wrong, it's super cool to work with a saltwater crocodile. She deserves to be closest to the wild that she can be. So that's kind of what we do here. So you guys sponsoring us with different animals helps us do that too.
I absolutely love that. And I love that you are so proactive in getting these animals back into nature when possible, when they can be
Mm-hmm.
rehabilitated, when they can be re-released. And I understand that not all animals can have that happen because, humans have been in their lives or kind of interfered with that type of thing. And I know that some of them are not able to be released again, but thank goodness that there are organizations out there like yours. And you do a lot of presentations at schools and in the community. We actually had you guys come to one of our events called Unfrogged for Tamara Botting, and you
Oh,
brought a
nice.
boa constrictor for us. I think she was a boa constrictor. Her name was Popcorn, and she was yellow.
It could have been.
Yeah, and then there was a tarantula too. But you do a lot of presentations at schools and in the community. And what kind of animals do you bring with you? And also, what is the message that you give the kids? What do you want them to take from your presentations?
Yeah, so we do presentations pretty much for anything. In fact, I was talking to somebody earlier today about going to their wedding.
Wow.
Yeah. We usually offer two different packages. The biggest difference is the size of the animal. So we have like our small to medium package and then our larger animals there. Usually you get a snake. I can kind of show you
Yeah,
some of them because
love to
they're
see
all,
them.
I'm here anyways. So in here we have our green anaconda and Macklot's python there. So these guys are really common to go to one of our events there. We have our spectacled caimans that often go. Same with our Cuvier dwarf caimans that will go to our shows. We bring tarantulas, turtles, tortoises, lizards. We have small mammals like bunnies, guinea pigs, all that kind of stuff. So it makes it fun for everybody.
Definitely. And what do the kids learn from your presentation? Like they're going there to learn about the animals, but what do they specifically take away from that?
Yeah, so usually we really want that. We believe that the interaction with the animal really reinforces the idea, pretty much of the love of the animals. And, you know, not all animals are scary. And with overcoming that fear, they're able to focus more on how do we protect these animals? How do we care for them? That kind of thing. And that's what we want them to leave. We want them to leave inspired, wanting to learn more, wanting to protect these animals, and knowing maybe what's a good pet and maybe what's not a good pet.
Definitely. When I was in, I was fortunate enough to go to the Wildlife and Discovery Center in Madeira Beach, Florida, where I wrote my book, Grandma Gator's Fascinating Facts, and I got to hold an alligator, and it felt like the coolest thing ever. It was like, felt like a hot water bottle, but it was cold and squishy and really soft under his belly. So I think that kids taking the fear out of that definitely is such a big deal and such a great thing that you're promoting and doing, because once we get over that fear, we kind of understand, you know, this animal may look scary, but it actually needs our help and it needs to be properly cared for. And this is not a good pet, exactly like what you said. So
Yeah.
I know this is going to be a hard question, because this is be like picking a favorite child or favorite pet. But what animal are you connected to the most at Little Rays? Which one? I know that's so hard. It's almost an unfair question.
A little bit. Honestly, like I probably could make a really big list. Each of them have their own personalities and love, you know, different parts of them. But I'm actually going to show you probably, I don't know, she gives me a hug every morning.
Aww.
I think you guys are going to love her. I apologize, it's a little bit dark in here, but
That's okay.
Olive.
Oh my goodness. Good morning.
So this is Olive, our Linnaeus two-toed sloth, and she loves people. So honestly, she probably has my heart the most, but definitely there's a very long list. But she loves to cuddle, and she loves people. So
What a
I definitely.
sweetheart. Good morning, Olive. Can you give us a couple of really cool sloth facts?
Yeah, so if you don't know anything about sloths,
Nothing.
they are very slow moving, and that actually it keeps them from being detected in the wild by predators. So in human care, they'll not only sleep, they excessively sleep throughout the day, about 18 to 21 hours. So really the only time Olive wakes up is for her breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Like me.
Yeah, and she'll definitely nap with you too. But not only are they just slow moving, what we can see, but they also, when they're going to the bathroom. So Olive actually goes to the bathroom, like pee and poop, only about once a week. So
Wow.
yeah, so she'll lose about a third of her body weight when she goes, but she doesn't want any attention drawn to her when she goes to the bathroom. So.
Oh my goodness. She is so cute. I just want to cuddle her. So, how can we get in contact with you and all of our viewers and followers if we want to come and visit you at Little Rays?
Absolutely. So you can find all of our details and programs on our website at littlerace.org. So you'll be able to find all our contact information there too. But either by phone or through email there.
And reservations are required, right?
Yes, reservations are required right now just to make sure that you guys get the best experience and all that kind of stuff. But you can get guided tours where you can meet a bunch of animals. You can do a sloth encounter with Olive, all that kind of stuff. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. And I know that our viewers and our readers appreciate it too. So if you do not have Grandma Gator's Fascinating Facts yet, go to Little Rays, get a copy, check out the animals while you're there. Make a reservation first, though, and give Olive a cuddle for me. So thank you so much. It was a pleasure. And thanks for teaching us about animals today.
No problem. Thanks for having me. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you. Bye.